Almost 10 years ago, I have made my first ever YouTube channel. And as much as this video is gonna look like an autobiography, it'll be more than that once you reach the end. Growing up, I used to be obsessed and passionate about many things. Hobbies of mine at the time would be things like drawing, acting, and even writing at times. The one thing, however, that kept me occupied and inspired was watching television. Cartoons, especially superhero ones, would be what would shape my way of thinking. Besides that, I would grow fond of playing Flash games. Portraying your favorite TV characters, especially on the official websites, was something mind-blowing for me. One game that would resonate with me was one titled Comic Stars Fighting, which will play a later role in my life. Slowly, I would show interest and talent in multiple fields of art and filmmaking. As mentioned earlier, things like drawing and acting were some of the best time killers for me. Many white papers I was given were used on drawing characters I loved, most notably superheroes. Fast forward to 2015, YouTube for me at the time was just a website filled with whatever type of videos you would expect or search for. A 10-year-old like me back then would use such a platform for things like watching cartoons, gaming walkthroughs, etc. I used to watch many full dialogue-free fights for one of my favorite TV shows growing up, DragonballZ. One day I woke up, turned the family computer on, and went to YouTube. I clicked on the search bar and started typing Goku versus... What's this? Of the usual search suggestions that popped up, a new unfamiliar one appeared. Goku versus evil... Goku? I was just starting to learn English, but knew what evil meant. I was surprised. I felt I definitely had to check it out. Not a game, no. A video made with graphics from Jump Superstars and Jump Ultimate Stars, some edited and customized to will, an original story, music and voice clips I was familiar with. I had seen videos like these, including ones with Comic Stars fighting graphics, but this was revolutionary to me. Part 2 was just around the corner, and I've immediately clicked it. Everything that astonished me in the first part was present, only better. A third part was next. Same story. What is all of this? Who's making these videos? And how is he doing them? Is this all feasible on YouTube? This was a game changer to me, and just when things couldn't stop getting better, I feasted my eyes on the next episode, Goku vs. Evil Goku 4. This one was a huge step up, starting with a cinematic opening adorned with all types of visual effects, edited character sprites I never imagined could be done, and a whole new theatrical movie-style atmosphere as Evil Goku standing with his wish finally granted. I vividly recall being alone and obeying the "It's a long video, grab a snack" intro card, making a sandwich with some potato slices my parents left me in the fridge. I rewatched these 4 installments over and over again, and gradually, his other animations such as Evil Goku vs. Broly and Goku vs. Mecha Goku would be recommended to me. Not forgetting the epic Goku vs., which I've grown to hold as my favorite among all others. I soon discovered this guy's name, Jason the Redhead Henry. Even if I kept rewatching his Goku vs. series, this guy never ceased to amaze me. His channel was filled with tons of creative stuff using softwares like After Effects and Photoshop. It was remarkable. Watching his thoughts on After Effects, even without real interest in starting to follow them at first, would still do nothing but increase my respect for him. Sprites, I discovered, was the name of the kind of graphics people would animate for these movies with. Sprite Database and Spider's Resource would become new websites I would love visiting daily. My computer's downloads folder would be filled with character, background, even dialogue and font sprite sheets from games like Dragon Ball Z The Legacy of Goku, Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure, and Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors. I constantly took a separate sheet and started to make coloring changes, a little dialogue pictures, with what little limitations of knowledge, skill, and possibilities I had in Paint. The fondest memory I have of this year regarding sprites on YouTube is me going to a cyber cafe with money enough to pay for a 1-hour usage and watching Goku versus before anything else. One night when my brother and I were sitting in our living room, he casually brought up the idea of making a YouTube channel. This time my view on YouTube was different. I realized this was more than just the video network I last thought it was a year before. It was the website where creativity seemed to reside. It was that night, September 2nd, 2016, that I would make my first ever YouTube channel. It was an awesome start. I started publishing some gameplays I had recorded and got some pretty decent feedback as well as some recognition among my friends in middle school. This wasn't what I intended for my channel. Knowing that I wanted to make more gaming on my channel and some reviews and other content, I was constantly dreaming of one thing to base my YouTube niche on. The Redhead Henry and other methods of making sprite animations had me always thinking, what can I do to be like them? How can I become a sprite animator like the Redhead Henry? I remember Red's tutorial series, but the problem was my middle school schedule, which didn't allow me enough time I thought I could spare for the course, let alone this whole hobby. This isn't the last time studies would get in my way. But I couldn't let that stop me or extinguish the desire I had inside for becoming a sprite animator. You can tell how hyped I was to start this journey. I kept browsing the internet for spreadsheets of DragonballZ characters, eventually making a DeviantArt account. Up until this point, despite obstacles, things were looking up pretty well, but not for too long. Around this time, at least in the Arab world, many reviewers and such would have more than one channel dedicated to a specific type of content or media. Being the influential 12-year-old I was, I fell for this. My passion and admiration for sprites, which weren't quite a trend in the Arab world, and mostly seen as something outdated or ugly, would coincide with my other interests: anime, Western cartoons, or making comedy skits. Not to forget that my videos were intended to be English, while some of the other niches were famously in Arabic, which was what I intended for them. Time went on, and summer vacation has finally begun. I can now follow the Red Henry's After Effects tutorials and start making my own stories. I rolled up my sleeves, opened up After Effects, clicked the first tutorial, and the door knocked. Oh my god. Al-Sahib Sahib. It was my friend, who came to our house to play with me. This would continue for the next few days until our group of friends would distract me from pursuing my YouTube dreams. We would make gaming videos and parodic fan-dubs together. It was certainly fun, but I'd slowly forget my spread animations plans. Uploading videos on YouTube was starting to turn from a weekly or monthly basis activity into something I would do once a year if I did publish at all. This was all due to some identity crisis I was going through those days. From an aspiring spreader to a reviewer to a comedian, each role and even language seemed to clash with the other. Needless to say, the circumstances and what was happening around me. Just when an opportunity appeared, there would always be an obstacle ahead of me. Most notably, the COVID-19 lockdown back in 2020. Most might say, it's the time I need to make a comeback. And it really was. Except, my computer was under repair. Many examples occur to mind when talking about these obstacles that got in the way, but the sad truth is, YouTube would just become what it was to me many years ago. Just a video site. Studies getting in the way, getting close to graduating to college, personal problems, it's rather pathetic. In the end, I have but myself to blame. I let circumstances and outer influences shape my decisions. I fooled myself thinking it was the best for me to focus only on school and let my passion be something secondary. So far, I have many video ideas waiting to be executed, and even full scripts from different times in my life waiting to be adapted. There are some pretty stupid stuff I enjoy doing. Some I still do now. And I definitely believe neglecting your studies, social life, or treating family members like they don't count are quite foolish things to do. On the other hand, the skills I dreamt of acquiring could have given me quite an advantage, which is what the few people that heard the story have said. As much as I'd love to flesh out the story, I think what I said was enough, and I would just deviate from its core purpose. About a month ago, I finally decided to sit down and watch the long-awaited Goku vs. Z by none other than the man who inspired me, the Redhead Henry. That's right, the banger I've been waiting for years I have never watched until 3 years after its release. Surprisingly, almost 10 years after it's been teased, and coincidentally, 10 years after I've signed up on YouTube for the first time. Despite that, I had a pretty good time. Watching the fanfiction I've grown to love and has had a big impact on me come to a wrap-up was quite wholesome. I'd even call it a tearjerker without getting into spoilers. Funny enough, I made a reaction video last year on the first Goku vs. Evil Goku, and was intended to cover the later installments, all hopefully as a comeback attempt on YouTube. This all surprisingly made me meditate over my journey on the platform, starting from an excited, ambitious kid to nothing really. It's been a decade and I haven't really accomplished anything. I was never really interested in making millions of views or subscribers. Sure, the tiny fandom I have made over the years was a welcome reaction, but I was wishing to go through all those video ideas for myself and my own enjoyment, even if they were constantly changing rather insanely. After this realization, I had but two choices. Either spend the rest of my youth and life as a consumer and bury all the talent I had since birth, or use this past as momentum and walk forward. There was no question about it. I now am experienced, I still have talent and time. I'll make YouTube videos again, not caring what others say unless they have more than thumbs or comments to react with. My YouTube channel will be for the one it was meant to be from the start. Me. It's been a bumpy ride for me, but like I said, I can either go forward or stay consumed. I'm not telling you to expect any great changes or even expect all the animations I was working on when I was a kid. Honestly, I really don't care what kind of content I'm gonna upload. I'm just gonna upload whatever I want. As I said in the beginning of this video, this isn't just an autobiography. This is also a tease to my comeback on YouTube, and also a message to all teenagers out there. This is the age in which you are discovering yourself. You'll make tons of mistakes and multiple obstacles will come in your path. Focus on your goal and what you aspire to achieve. That is how you grow. Not fantasy-style stories where you get whatever you want, mostly by wishing. You get that only by standing up and fighting. God Almighty is always near you whenever you need Him, and you always will. But that helps you materialize by your own effort and courage. Failure should only clarify your vision and push you to work smarter and not just harder. Keep in mind, it is no selfishness to prioritize yourself and your ambitions, but that shouldn't pull you away from caring about others, especially your parents. I hope you had a good watch and see you next time.